What did I teach you?
You are Local New York, you're a number one.
I can't hear you.
You are the Duke of New York, you're a number one. Peace. Peace, everybody. Can everybody hear me? If so, please type it into the chat. Honest to everybody in the chat. Honest to everybody came through. Excellent. Hope everything is loud enough. Another glorious day in the Tupacalypse. Hope everybody's been well. Honest to everybody's coming through for the first time. I appreciate the support. Definitely doing it. Excellent. You know how we do. Anybody have any questions about anything before we get started? Islam. That's what's up. A lot of interesting things going on. A lot of distractions they throwing out there, trying to get people caught up, trying to fake right, go left. You know how they do. The proverbial they. Take your pick as to who that is. Yep. Anybody have? You can just. Yeah, you seen that, right? They found they was in Gravesend. They had all of these people, so-called swan hats, just coming in and out the sewers, straight from the sewers, like DOS effects. They just coming in and out. Niggas was like, what is going on? Is it the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Like, what are these niggas? Well, yeah, they was coming in and out of the damn tunnels. You know what I mean? Because you know they got all of them underground rituals that they do down there that we found out a couple of years ago, where they was pulling out the bloody mattresses, the dirty bloody mattresses, because these niggas is running into the holes in the ground. But you got to remember, they come from, or let's not say them, but people like them, when is coming out of holes in the ground, literal caves and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So you can't necessarily dissuade and act like that's not a part of their culture. They were forced at certain times to literally live in holes. You know what I'm saying? Due to the fact that people was tired of them coming out, stealing children and sacrificing them to their peoples like that. So that literally forced a lot of them underground, just like we found out all of these underground cities that's literally underground. Like, this is not conspiracy. This is part of their practice. This is part of how they live. You know what I'm saying? So you can't, you know, just dissuade the fact that this is a isolated phenomenon. No, this is part of their practice. They can't do a lot of the shit they want to do in the light, so they got to do it in the dark. Literally, they got to be in holes in the ground, because that's what some of the rituals call for. They got to be in what they call the hearth of the earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you read the Talmud, you'll see what I'm talking about. When you read it, it says stuff like that. Like, they got to do things within the dank earth and all of that. Yeah, yeah. They do rituals in which they try to bring the souls back to their people by creating golems and homunculi and egregores. This is part of their religion. This is not us hating. This is like You got to really understand this is how they was taught. You know what I'm saying? That they can take the dirt or the ground and make entities out of it, so long as they use enough blood, enough semen, enough feces, saliva. Like this is what they do. You know what I'm saying? Brock said it's not gonna happen. Exactly. I agree with you, but you know we're in a country where everybody's religion is supposed to be respected and protected. So this is part of their religion, and so far as they're not caught, which they usually do get caught. As you see, the niggas done seen them. I mean, imagine you walking down the street and then you see niggas just popping out of the manhole. You know what I'm saying? Like you like what? Like what is going on? So they got a lot of the rat lines and a lot of the secret tunnels that go to a lot of the underground cities that they've been building underground, which is why they want to set up some of these data centers. Like the data centers are going to want to be used for a myriad of different purposes. One, to open portals. Two, to power the underground stuff that they got going on. Three, to suck up all of the water and the air and all of that. And remember, these is the niggas that came up with the climate change scam, right? So they're talking to you about all of this climate change shit and how they can't have gas cars and shit like that, but they're gonna put all of this money into data centers that are going to basically not only pollute everything but suck up everybody's drinking water and make life harder for actual human beings, so that way they can power this fake AI based surveillance state that they've been trying to, that they've been jerking off to since Orwell dropped the bomb on everybody and let everybody know this is what they was going to be doing. So they've been trying to do all of this. So it should be to nobody's avail. What I am happy about though is all the pushback this shit has been getting. Like niggas is creating legislation to stop these things in the tracks. So what the United States military is going to try to do is going to try to make it like a military thing, that they got to do this for military purposes. However, that still can't really work because the military only has jurisdiction in Washington D.C. on the ground. You know what I'm saying? According to the laws of posse comitatus. So now, this is not to say that these people are not lawless and all of that, but essentially it is very hard for them to do that. And they've already created the circumstance by now. People have found out that with the ICE people, that they got a lot of IDF soldiers that have been working with them, which is crazy because we've been telling people that they've been sending police over to Israel to train. You know what I mean? Not only them, but it's also come out this week that a lot of the cartel bosses and sicarios were sent over to Small Hat Land to be able to learn how to dissolve bodies and cut up bodies and things like that to help dispose of them with acids and things like that. All of those special techniques they was learning. They was actually teaching them this. So this can also look as to why Mexico has their first small hat uh president, you know what I'm saying, who barely speaks Spanish, Miss Scheinbaum, you know what I'm saying, who is basically running the country into the ground, in which they started the war against the cartels, and then we started to find out that the cartels was being funneled and using a lot of that IDF money and all of that too. So it seems that almost every evil that is taking place on earth, from genocide to human trafficking to dissolving bodies in acid, it seems like all of this stuff is always being traced back to the same people. So this is really, it's really sad that this type of state exists, on earth, and everybody is still acting like they have the right to do these things. And the people who are the most compromised, meaning the United States Congress, they are the most treasonous. Like, this is the most treasonous Congress that you have had since the junta insurgency took over formally in 1871. We can take it back to 1776 and maybe take it further back to 1619, but essentially this is the most openly corrupt, treasonous Congress that has ever existed in the history of the United States, to the point where other countries are looking at it like, damn, like y'all niggas is really occupied right now by these people, to the point now where they're trying to tie your military to them. But that is really a play so that way they could try to make it whereas anybody who speaks against them can be, seen as some sort of domestic terrorism, so they could try to like bypass the First and the Second Amendment and all of that. But the problem, like I said, with doing that is that there's way more people who are not with this than you think. You understand? It's way more people in this country than there are in the actual military themselves. So it's going to be really hard for them to set that off the way that they really want to. So they're trying to do it incrementally. However, the more and more that they try to suppress everybody with it, the more and more people are waking up to the fact that this is not the country. That there's no way a functioning democracy, a functioning republic, even one that has been co-opted the way this one has, can actually keep functioning like this. Like, you can't have an entire so-called political class that is openly working against the people who put them in power. Like, there's no way it's going to be able to continue to function like that. You understand what I'm saying? And so because of that, they've created the circumstance by which they can't sustain themselves in the long term. So you having this whole billionaire panic situation happening because people are burning down these warehouses. People are burning down these people's houses. Niggas is showing up at these billionaire people because that's who's actually funding all of this, the billionaire classes. And don't get me wrong, I am not into communism. I'm not a supporter of communist ideology or socialism or anything like that. I'm not with that at all. But what I am saying is that you capitalism in itself as an actual social exercise is not a negative thing. It's not, because our people are the one who invented it. You understand? We invented international commerce. We invented what they call capitalism. It didn't start with Alan Smith. Alan Smith got that from Moors. I showed y'all the books like a couple of months ago. If I find them in the thing, I'll show them again. But we created all of that. So capitalism is not the issue. The issue is when people who have capital get so capitalistic that they themselves start to negate their national identity, when they negate their sense of moral fortitude, to the fact that they look at themselves not as nationals or denizens or citizens or whatever it is that are loyal to the place in which they're from. You see what I'm saying? They look at themselves as being able to go wherever they feel and then use their money to override the laws that everybody else got to follow in these countries that they're paying into. Because if they didn't have money, they wouldn't be able to do none of this. And so they look at themselves being part of a globalistic class that supersedes nations. So they more identify with corporate things because they're dead husk. The first three, what, CORP, the first four letters of corporation is corp, which is really short for corpse, which means dead. So they identify with a dead thing like a corporation because it doesn't have a soul. So this gives them the right, they feel, to then express themselves in a soulless manner, in which then they identify more with a capitalistic mind state as opposed to a nationalistic mind state. So they then try to use their capital to change the world to benefit them and them only that are part of that class. You understand what I'm saying? And that is the problem. So, like right here, the U.S. and Israel are not politically merging, but a sweeping legislative proposal in the U.S. House of Representatives aims to integrate their military forces and defense industries into an unprecedented agree. That's treason. It's treason. They would never merge their military with Britain. They would never merge their military with France. They would never merge their military with anything else. But what's happened is Israel doesn't, they don't have enough soldiers to keep up the wars that they're fighting against the entire world. You understand? They're at war with the entire world at this point. You know what I'm saying? They're at war with like 5 countries at the same time right now. And they're losing. They're losing to such a degree that in this stupid attempt to try to shut down Iran, they've turned Iran into one of the most richest countries in the world. You know what I'm saying? So everything they're doing is backfiring on them. They don't have enough soldiers because the soldiers they have don't even know how to fight. They only know how to shoot and kill women and children. They only know how to rape and maim and murder women and children. That's all they know how to do. They don't know how to fight real conventional warfare like that. Their warfare is at arm's length. They work better when they're dropping bombs on people. Like I said, when they're shooting women and children, that's where they get off. That's where they could do their thing at. Outside of that, they're not really good at hand-to-hand fighting. They don't have enough people. So what they're trying to do now is get the United States to be their military. So that way, anybody that's speaking against them, they now can try to say that these military people, that they're now infringing upon the military's right to function. You see what I'm saying? It's a play. And because Donnie is totally compromised now, and because the rest of these people, the billionaire class or whatever that he continuously marries into, they're a part of the Kosher Nostra, they don't have the ability to actually say no at this point. Like we all know at this point that they're all blackmailed. We all know this, right? But yet and still they want to keep going as if we're going to be shocked by all of the stuff that they've been doing. So to try to hide this, they're now like leaking puffy sex tapes. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to like create more distractions to get everybody to kind of like not pay attention to this what I'm showing you right here. Because all of this came out right before the blue moon. Now this blue moon that just took place, funny enough, is happening in Sagittarius. What a blue moon is it's not blue. It basically is when you have a full moon in the twice like in the same month. So they're using this as a means to remake their image. You see what I'm saying? And they're trying to push a lot of this fake legislation, especially now that they've used their money, APAC money, to be able to like get out anybody like allegedly Massey and the rest of these all of these real America First people, try to force them out of the government so that way they can move forward with trying to basically turn the United States military into Israel's direct military. You see what I'm saying? So this way, like I said, if you say anything about them, now it's like you coming out against the United States, and now this gives them the right to come against you and all of this bullshit, right? But the problem with that is none of that can override the actual constitution that they themselves have put themselves under. Now, they did a bait and switch with the original constitution, right? In which they created this fake version that they're under now, but regardless of who or what, the public opinion and the public perception is they are still bound by it. And that's the only thing that is allowing the country to continue. You understand? So now that the insurgency is almost firmly in, they want to just basically throw the trapdoors open and try to suck everybody into it, right? That's again why they want the data centers popping, because they don't. The country is too big. America as a country itself is way too big to have them just in it like that. To have them being able to basically circumvent and control everybody, they can't do it. And now with all of the pushback to the data centers and the fact that all of these niggas is war criminals, right? They don't really have the luxury of holding, the moral and the public opinion. Everything is moving against them. So because the only people that support these people are the political class and the so-called billionaire elite class, right? The technocrat class. These people are permanently now pariahs to the rest of not just the United States but humanity. So sharing our data with a foreign entity, right, is illegal. It's illegal. It's treason. Everything that they're doing is treason. You understand? Everything that they're doing is treason. Yet we don't even hear the word treason brought up by these people, because why would the criminals want to be exposed as being criminals, even though we know that's what they all are? They're not only criminals, but they're war criminals. So with the whole QAnon thing and all of that stuff that they've been working, Operation Zephyr, Operation Gladio, all of these things with the help of Mossad, with the help of CIA, with the help of NSA, and all of these people who are traitors to the American government, they don't have the ability or the luxury anymore to basically just make it seem like we are a small minority. We're the minority. We're the majority. This dude's public relation, this dude sacrificed his entire legacy. You understand? To be down with this. But remember, I told y'all from when I first was started building on this nigga as a double Gemini, a dragon Gemini. I told you that this nigga was crazy. And that as a maniac, he'll do whatever somebody who's gassing him up and his ego to do, he would do. I told y'all this. See, you know what I mean? Like, I don't ever want to get it twisted that I was ever supporting this nigga. What I'm supporting is the idea that I'm supporting the idea that the fact that the republic, as we understand it, as it's supposed to function, right? In order for them to get it to this point, there had to be a certain collapse on the infrastructure. And one thing you can always count on with egomaniacs is that they will always expose the fact that their ego is more important, right, than what their deeds or actions are, because these people are totally detached from humanity, because they're a part of a class that literally eats people. You understand? These people are all in the position in which they have all mostly participated in either eating people, raping children. You see what I'm saying? Disposing of bodies, have done horrific things. That is all on tape. It's all on tape. And to the point where they are so depraved and they're so thing that they realize that this is the last, what they call the desperation. This is like a last Hail Mary for them. So they figure they'll go all out. You see what I'm saying? And assault humanity by using the United States military as a mean to do it. But the problem with the military is there are different factions within it. Just like in CIA, everybody say, "Oh, CIA is this CIA." Like, which CIA are you talking about? Like, there's mad different versions of it within it. You got the bureaucracy CIA, you got the Israeli CIA, you got the military industrial complex CIA, you got the what you call it, the neocon CIA. You got the good guys, right, who think that they're good guys in CIA. Then you got the UFO CIA. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Well, when they say white hats, you got to always look at it like the Pope wears a white hat, and the Pope is wearing a kippah. So he's supposed to be the head of the Roman Catholic Church, but then he's wearing a small hat. So right there, they letting you know. You see what I'm saying? That the whole thing is a wash, right? So they have all of these proposed things that they're trying to do. They're trying to take control of the military because they're running out of money. The public opinion in the world is against them. Nobody wants to host them. They got international war criminal warrants on them. They're still raping. Rape is a big part of their culture. You know what I'm saying? Like rape and child murder, like these are big parts of their culture now. And now that everybody in the world has seen this, they're only able to maintain a certain degree of influence in places that they already have it. So nothing new is going to open up for them. You know what I'm saying? So they have low-key junta insurgencies in all of these different countries that they're being swept into. One of them being Argentina, right? Why Argentina? Because that's where they've always gone. Look at this. Dual nationals, multinationals. The United States got the most because they've been seeding this thing since Charles T. Russell was in the Masonic Lodge with Balfour and Lord Rothschild and them, and they came up with this thing. They've been seeding this thing from then. All of the Masonic lodges, all of the Freemasonic lodges are under these niggas' jurisdiction. You don't know? And what's sad is that the lodges themselves don't know. they, they, they don't even know. They don't even realize who wrote all of these rituals and stuff for them. They've done it. This is all patterned after them. You see what I'm saying? So they've infiltrated all of this. There's a book you can get called Agent 666. Get that book. And it's all about how Aleister Crowley, who was really a crypto small hat, was able to infiltrate everybody on behalf of the British government, and is the one that basically brought all of these Talmudic, ritualistic, satanic practices and influenced it under the guise of magical orders and influenced them with this. This is what they've been doing. So to be a dual national with a country that's openly hostile, a country that just threatened to drop nuclear bombs on us. And what's crazy is Iran already exposed that these niggas don't even have the nukes that they say that they got because they bombed the Dimona plant. This is the same Dimona plant that JFK came out and tried to stop them from setting up. They just bombed the hell out of that thing the other day. It's done. So they don't even have them like that. They may have some dirty joints, but again, that's not going to do the job that they want. So according to their Hannibal initiative, they have basically went to every country in the world and have set up little nuke bases where if they shit go wrong for them, they will unleash nuclear bombs in every country in the world and just plunge the entire world into that. And y'all gonna say that y'all don't negotiate with terrorists? That's terrorism. Y'all gonna let that rock though. You see what I'm saying? And so this is what I mean. But they'll let that rock because this is all backed by money. And when you are so capitalistic, right, and so money is your god, you don't see people in countries as being different, as having the right to exist. You only see your money having the right to exist, right? You only have your money out here doing what it needs to do. So you will literally sell out your entire country. You'll sell out your mother, your father, your children. You'll sell anything to just get more of the money. So they don't have any national identity. Getting citizenship for them is like buying a Vacheron Constantine or a Patek Philippe. You understand? Like it's just a new thing to get so that way they can get more of what they want. This nigga Peter Thiel went into Honduras and set up an entire country, set up a fake country within Honduras that has its own laws and everything. So when he go there, he basically could be the king. He basically could be God. And then the Hondurans was like, wait a minute, this ain't gonna serve us. This don't serve our people. We're not with this. So what does he do? He sues the entire country of Honduras for $90 million. Like what? Y'all letting this nigga get away with this? How is your courts even accepting the fact that this nigga? Why don't you just take his money and tell this nigga to kick rocks? Why? Because he will use the money, right, that he gets or that he has from these other people, namely US or whoever, and then and then most likely will fund some sort of terrorism shit to get what he wants. This is what you're dealing with. You're dealing with people who, and then remember, Peter Thiel, Silberman, all of these niggas, what's his name? All of these niggas is gay. So this is what's crazy about the so-called Republican niggas at this point. That's how you know they all bought and paid for. They the ones that's supposed to be against all of this shit. They the ones that's supposed to be against all of this, especially with that. They're the ones trampling on the gay rights, on the trans rights, on the voters' rights, and all of this, right? They're the ones doing this. But then let's take it into a racial thing. These is all white boys. These is all Caucasian people doing this, right? They hate to bring it into that, but in the end, they want to be, they want to be small hats. They want to be this. They want to be that. But in essence, they're all Caucasians, right? They're all melanin deficient. So this again is another example as to why people are so anti-white man and anti-white woman at this point. Because even the white folks is saying this is insane. What y'all doing is insane. This is not sustainable. You are going to plunge the entire world into a war to destroy everything so that way what? You could rule what? How you going to rule everything if you kill everybody? It don't make sense. But again, it don't have to make sense because these niggas is nihilists. These niggas are godless, soulless monsters. You understand? They have no conscience about anything or anyone. They are rampant deviants. They are child rapists. You understand? The Epstein class, that's a real thing. Then they got this nigga out and then put him under a whole new identity and got him in the population around people that look like us. That's basically acting like we don't see this for what it is. They're literally mocking us. They're literally mocking you, mocking your intelligence, saying that we can put this baby eater, this black child hunter on TV in front of you, and y'all niggas won't do nothing about it. You can't do nothing about it. Why? Because you can't prove it, because we'll use your laws against you. This is how sick this is. You understand? This is him. This is Jeff, yo. This is him. He done failed lie detectors. His teeth is the same. He done took pictures in the same places that this nigga done took. He got the same plane this nigga got. Like, what else? But they'll always have a bitch ass nigga like this, a slave like this, right next to this dude. You see what I'm saying? And make jokes about it in our face. Right? And we wonder why we as a people can't get together. Why? Because our people worship their money. Like Ye said, they gave us their wealth and taught us to hate ourselves. We would rather be wealthy with them than be poor with each other. You understand? So look, this is how crazy it is. In Belgium, right? Belgium, this dude said that Belgian nationalist Dries van Langenhoff was charged again with hate crimes, with a judge admitting that he was charged not with spreading false information, but for spreading information that could incite hatred. Do you see how crazy this is? Even if all the statements made by Van Langenhoff are based on scientific evidence and statistics, it makes no difference to the criminal intent. What? So they're saying that the truth is criminal. That's what this thing says. This is the type of shit they want to bring here. What they had the psyop the other day where they had the chick, the little girl, and they tried to show you that they trying to arrest her or whatever. That's all a psyop, because the Second Amendment is very clear. It's very clear about what you can say and what you can't say with stuff like that. So even though he is not charged with spreading false information, because that's what they used to say. Remember they say disinformation, misinformation, which is fake. It's either information or lies. It's either information or it's not. So to create something like disinformation, misinformation, that's what they do. He is charged for presenting facts in a way that incites hatred against persons on the grounds of one or more protected criteria in anti-racism. So they're basically trying to make these people a globally protected class that you can say, you can talk about killing niggas, you could talk about killing gays, you could talk about doing any of that to anybody else in the world except them, even though they are the ones that's doing it. Zionism, right? Zog governments, which is Zionist occupied governments, or Zionism, right, and anti-Semitism has nothing to do with the religion of Judaism, which is a Roman religion. It has nothing to do with the actual religion of this, because most of these people are atheists. They're atheists. They don't even believe in God. The rabbis don't want to go to heaven. That's not what their goal is. Their goal is to destroy the world, to force the Messiah to come down to earth, to live down here with them, so that way they can go and take its throne. This is what they believe. This is not what I believe. This is what they say that they believe. And guess what? They have the right to believe that. You do not have the right to say that what they believe is not real or whatever because it's real to them. If that's what they believe, let them believe that. The problem is trying to force everyone to be their slaves to fit the tenets of that belief. That's the problem. You understand? That's the problem. It's not what they believe or how they believe it. You know what I'm saying? If that's what they want to do, they got their own country. Let them do that in their country. But when they want to then inflict that on everyone else, that's where the problem comes in, guys. That's the problem. That's the issue. That's what we're dealing with. It has nothing to do with their belief system. I'm cool with it if that's what they want. You dig? What I'm not cool with is you trying to come to my country and then tell me what I can or cannot do in my country because it interferes with you trying to take my country over. That's the problem. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I don't live in Israel. That's why I don't live there. You know what I'm saying? I live here. But now you want to turn here into there. And then what you do is you use the Muslim population as the bulwark to be able to bludgeon and turn these so-called European societies, which were old Moorish societies, into this fake cosmopolitan melting pot, another word that was created by a small hat agent, right? Because they never melt in, they never join up with everybody else. They always want everybody to conform to them, right? But then when melanated people do it, it's a problem. You see? So this is going to backfire on them, because what it's going to do is going to bring the so-called blacks and the so-called whites together. You understand? Nobody's going to stand for this in the long term. It's not going to work. It's only working now because you have this whole internet social media bullshit going on. If they didn't have social media, this country would have been flipped. They'd have been flipped it. You understand? Because there's still an element of the global of the, at least the American the United States populace, that is actually still entertained by this thing, that still really don't believe that these niggas is doing all of the bullshit they doing. That's what's really going on. Look, German fascists flee to Argentina to escape justice in the 1940s, right? Boom, what has happened? Same thing. A German-born fascist, right? This tech Satanist. This nigga was doing whole seminars on the Antichrist a couple of months ago because he's so scared that somebody gonna take his money that he started to do actual videos and actual TED Talks about how to embrace the Antichrist and all of this when it comes. And he don't even believe in God. How you gonna believe in the Antichrist and you don't believe in Christ itself? Like, it's this is what I'm saying. They're crazy. They're crazy. So, did you know that Verizon? Peep this. Did you know that Verizon, the phone company, is doing their the third annual Moloch conference? Did you know that? Do you know that they have a Moloch conference that they go to every year? That they've been doing this the third year they doing it? And guess who running it? And guess who running it? So when you pay Verizon, right? When you pay for your phone bill to Verizon, Verizon is using that to pay for the Moloch festival. You can't make this up. It's like, what? Yes, Verizon is in league with Moloch. So you mean to tell me you couldn't find no other name for this conference except the Moloch conference? The Molech conference? Why would you choose the name Moloch, Verizon? Why would you do that? Look, the third annual Moloch conference was held in 2019. This is the third one. So they done had two of these joints. You ain't even hear about it. You see what I'm saying? You see how they got a stranglehold on communication? You see why they own all of the tech companies, all of these companies, and then when you say that they own all of it, after they come and say that they own it, they come out and say that they own it all. They come out and say that they have the ability to get together, to change the narrative, to shut people down and cut people out of society and all of this. Then when you say, well, yeah, this is what y'all niggas do, then they say that they're saying that you're racist against them. That's called inversion, right? Which is one of the Moloch tactics, which is one of the tactics of the Talmud. That's what they believe. When caught in doing something, blame your enemy for what it is that you are doing yourself. That is a tenet in their Talmudic book, y'all. The third annual Moloch conference was held in 2019. It focused on open source, large scale packet capture, indexing system, Moloch, known as Archime, Arch-E-Me, Arch-I-Me. The event included major presentations on how visibility, security, monitoring stacks, packet analysis were implemented in enterprise and production environments. See, the key presentation of the year focused on Verizon Media specific infrastructure deployments. This is all military jargon they're using, by the way. You can review the technical details and the deployment strategies discussed at the conference by viewing Verizon Media deployments in Moloch on. You understand? They playing right in your face. Right in your face, telling you exactly what they're doing. Yes. Yes. Because their Messiah is digital. Their Messiah is the devil. You understand? Their Messiah is who you refer to as Lucifer, who they refer to as Baal or Molech or Nimrod or any of the other demons that they try to summon and function to do their bidding. That's why they want all of y'all on computers. That's why they aren't doing it the way that they doing it. That's why they want AI to basically rule everything. Because they can't do it themselves. They don't have enough people. There's not enough evil people that's willing to work with them to do this. That's why they have to turn people into demons by getting them to do the most heinous things. This is why they always follow the same patterns. So when all of the Nazis was able to get, all the white Nazis was able to get away and go to Argentina, now the same ones is doing it. Their children's children is doing it. You understand? This is who they are. And so with that, they're trying to spread this hatred for our people, or melanated, let me say melanated people, period, all around the globe, right? Because what it is that they've been doing, they've been taking the worst of the worst and using this immigration situation, this forced immigration situation, the so-called migrant situation, as a means to destroy all of Western civilization, to turn it into third world countries, so that way they can rule, because they believe that once they get rid of all of the white people, this is what they believe. They believe they get rid of all the white people, that because melanated people are stupid, right? Melanated people are dumb, and they've dumbed them down to the point that they don't have a good infrastructure about them, that they can basically rule us to be their slaves once all the white people are gone, because they figure that the white people are the ones that will fight against this more than anybody else. You know what I'm saying? So they look at them as the real threat. They look at us as like, these niggas ain't gonna do shit. All we gotta do is give them some liquor and some weed, and have some rap billionaires for them to look up to, and they'll just do whatever it is that we want. We're the liquid money to them. They look at Caucasian people as the threat, because they know that they primed them. They were the first immigrants out the caves that they used against us. And they were the most successful, especially after the Bacon's Rebellion. You see what I'm saying? So they have these new campaigns. So right now, other countries that are seeing this, they don't want to have no parts of it. Like the Japanese are using France as an example as to why they're deporting every African that they can find in their country right now. And at the same time, you can't blame them. Brandon said, "Do you think they're right or wrong about the white people being the biggest threat to them?" Um, I think it goes both ways. Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that they're a threat, because they will, based on their position in the country right now, they are seeing themselves being put in the position that we was put in during Jim Crow and all of that. So one thing about these white people is, when they feel that their liberties and things get threatened, they start to basically, unite on the low, start setting up fighting clamps and training camps and all this other type of stuff. The only problem is there's not enough of them, you see what I'm saying, that's racist enough to be able to set off the junta the way that they want. Because a lot of these so-called white people that they're calling white or whatever is not even that. A lot of them is white passing. Like y'all heard of this actor Ryan Gosling, right? For instance, I'm just using this as an example. Ryan Gosling, right? Ryan Gosling's great grandfather was a black loyalist in the Revolutionary War, and I mean a dark one. Like, this nigga was midnight, right? So a lot of these niggas is out here passing. A lot of these niggas got white, got so-called black grandchildren. Some of the most racist. You understand? Some of the most racist got straight melanated grandchildren. Got melanated in-laws. You understand what I'm saying? And so because of that, you have this catch-22 situation, where now they are now forced to now deal with this in their own homes, where they didn't have to deal with that during things like segregation and things like that. You understand? So it's harder and harder for them. A lot of them also came up listening to rap. You understand? A lot of them grew up listening to rap and hip hop and all of that. A lot of these niggas is wearing, grew up listening to Bob Marley and the OJs and all this type of stuff. So because melanated culture, Moorish American culture, i.e., melanated culture, melanated American culture is American culture and history, they're now caught into that. You see? So you get rid of us, you get rid of all of that. And they don't want to see a country like that anymore. It's not really viably possible for them. Also, there's not enough of them. So they could set off little like juntas in different insurgencies and in different pockets. But most of the white nationalist stuff that you see them doing, that's actually funded by small hats. We found that out through the Southern Poverty Law Center when that got exposed. You understand? So that's the problem. That's why niggas like Chud the Builder. Y'all heard about all of that, right? With the Chud the Builder thing. How he now in jail getting raped by black inmates. Right? That's why that is not gonna work. That's why they trying to put more of them out there. There was another one that was out there, but then he got knocked out to the point he paralyzed. Then when they went to the black man to try to get him locked up, they took him to court and the black man got off. So think about what I'm saying. This racist white man was doing what he saw Chud the Builder do, did it, rolled up on the wrong melanated man. The melanated man knocked him out. He fell to the ground, got paralyzed, right? He paralyzed now. Tried to press charges against the so-called black man, and the melanated man ain't doing no time. You understand? We in a whole different stratosphere now with this racism thing. So what they trying to do now, they're trying to galvanize the Asians. They're trying to get the Asians to be racist against you now. So in Japan, Japan, they all come from melanated people. They all come from the Jomon, the Ainu, the Atian, and the I forgot the other ones. And the Khoisan, right? That's who they genetically come from. They're more related to them than anybody else. Than anybody from the Korean, the white hunter-gatherer Koreans that you see people now. Most of them Japanese niggas is all Korean anyway. Or got Korean roots anyway. Because all the melanated ones was pushed out. So look at this. They posted this the other day. Japanese nationalists are sharing a recent clip of Parent France and they're warning Japan. This is what happens when you welcome millions of Africans to turn your city into Africa. This is France. France is done. That's why you don't see no images of France and stuff on your timeline no more and all of that. France is over. They done totally debilitated France. France is like a ghetto. It's like one big ghetto now. You understand? On purpose. Big up to this brother, Tion Platter Bay. The most liberal court in America, the Ninth Circuit, has just made a decision that solidified the POTUS argument that the children of foreign nationals are not citizens by simply being born on the United States American soil does not make you a citizen. The 5-26 decision, then this 5-28 decision. A second. 5-28 decision blows the doors off of birthright citizenship. See why they need Asiatics to be from Africa. Exactly. It is determined that the baby follows the belly, and it has been signed off by POTUS that the Asiatics, aka blacks, have been here before the United States of America, and no other group is older. So you see that. So what that says is we can't be sent nowhere. Nowhere. However, if your parents was born here, right? If you was born here, but your parents weren't, you might be in trouble. Because they also going over the green card situation now and trying to go through that with a fine-tooth comb because they're trying to get rid of any opposition for them as possible. But this thing goes both ways. This also goes to the small hats as well. Just because you're born here, it don't necessarily mean that you're from here. This is what the prophet told us all the way back in 1928. All the way back in 1928, he told us this. Then the king of Cambodia put this out. For all African nationals in the kingdom of Cambodia, whether you're from Ghana, Kenya, Cameroon, Uganda, and others, the royal government of Cambodia, through the General Department of Immigration, Ministry of Interior, wishes to inform all African nationals, including citizens of Ghana, Kenya, Cameroon, Uganda, and others, that the waiver granted to you will officially end today on May 31st, at the end on the 31st of May 2026. All foreign nationals whose fines have been cleared must leave Cambodia on or before the 31st of May. Any foreign national who enters, remains, or is found in Cambodia from June 1st, that's tomorrow, 2021, right? June 1st, 2026, will be arrested at the airport or at any location and shall serve a term in jail for 2 years, pay a penalty of 8,000 US dollars before being allowed to leave Cambodia. Cambodian police will start arresting any foreigner at any hideout. They call y'all niggas criminals at any hideout from the 1st of June 2026 for overstay, and will hand over to the immigration authorities for legal action. All concerned are hereby informed and strictly comply with this notice. The royal government of Cambodia will not tolerate any violation of our immigration laws. It's a wrap for y'all. So you know what this means? This means that anybody, again, reiterate it, anybody that's caught in Cambodia, any African, this is only applying to Africans. This is not to any French. This is not to to any Swedes. This is not to any Japanese. And they're the ones exploiting these niggas the worst, the most. But who they gonna lock up? The Africans. So again, this is telling y'all, bro. They are drawing the lines. Everybody under their own vine and fig tree. All of y'all gotta go home. This means y'all gonna have to go back to Ghana and try to build up your country as best as you can, or just go to France. Go to Germany. I think Germany is opening up. Is going to be another France in another 2 years, based on how they going. Italy too. All of the progressives in Italy is opening up to help destroy the country. Why? Because the Fabians and the small hats and the Freemasons is all trying to make the European nations third world countries. You would think that the so-called Africans would see this and use this to their advantage. But what are the Africans doing? They making deals with the French still. You mean to tell me you finally got these niggas on the ropes and y'all going to make more deals with them to give them more life and try to help them overturn and overthrow Tuareg and the rest of them? This is what I mean, man. When money rules everything, because all of these niggas most likely is also involved with the death cults. Women got to walk with dogs in Europe, and dogs, big, huge mastiffs, big, huge cane Corso dogs, giant shepherd herding, Caucasian shepherd dogs, the huge ones, the ones that look like bears. They got their daughters walking with this because what they saying, 2 out of every 10 women is being raped by the so-called Muslims or whoever else, whatever other immigrant they got over there. That's how you know is something behind that. Because I told you the rape culture is part of the tactic of these people, of these genocidal peoples, and this is what they have in common. They be using that as a means to ward off and thwart anybody trying to stop them. Because this is another way that they go into the country. They do the rapes, they do the killings, they force women to have their babies. Like, this is what it is. So you kicked out the Moors, back in the days and all of that, right? And now you don't open up the floodgates to now all of these other different racial groups, right? Ethnic groups. And now you've turned this so-called country into what it is. But hey, this is their revenge for colonialism. That's how they looking at it. So it is what it is. They've already dumbed down the population. You got all of these people, right? Going to, like, they just did a survey, right, where they showed all of these melanated children going to graduating, and as soon as they get their diplomas, they start twerking and doing all of this crazy shit on in front of everybody, right? Which is crazy. So then people was like, yo, why are you coming at them? Like, if this is what they want to do to celebrate them graduating, like, why is that a problem? Y'all always targeting black people and all that. But at the same time, like, Moors, we got to get to a point where we start to police our own communities, man. These children are out of control. They're wayward. They have no real guidance because their mothers is out here going to Jay-Z concerts still. Like, they parents is out here tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like, they really bugging. And then what's worse is when they start to when you start to look into these schools these kids is graduating from, yeah, they may be graduating, yet 65 to 75% of them can't even read. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they graduate in these children, and these children can't even read. Come on, y'all. So that's the white man fault too, right? That's the white man. This is the white man creating the circumstance for us to do that. No, it ain't the white man. What it is a controlled demolition of our community that has been going on for so long that we have totally missed the ball. Like, we've totally forgotten about it. One of the biggest culprits in this was the National Black Caucus, the Congressional Black Caucus, which is, again, people with nothing but foreigners, people that's not even so-called melanated Americans from mainland America. These are all so-called immigrants that are coming from Crown and other countries that have not only sold us out, but continuously make decisions that totally polarize our communities based on these so-called racial statistics that have nothing to do with reality. They have totally sold us out. You think going to they've taken over all your so-called black HSBCU institutions. They've integrated them with Caucasian people, with Ethiopians, with everybody, right? And again, I'm not trying to disrespect people who come from different countries. I'm just saying that there is a pathology going on in which that you want to be cool with us, but then once you get into the institutions that our ancestors, mainland ancestors, established, you then think or act as if you are better, and then start to do things to disrespect the people of whom you are replacing. That is a trend. To say that that's not happening is insane. And then to also act like because you can now ski and do and step and do these BS things that you think is now bringing you a part of a society that doesn't provide our greater society anything other than trying to make it seem like you're more successful than we are because you've been educated in a system in which most of y'all can't even read when you graduate. Like at some point, somebody has to say something about it and stop getting railroaded with all of this. Oh, you just hating. Oh, this is just, how they celebrate. Or hey, this is what we need to do when we get on. And like, what are you talking about? Y'all niggas only care about money. Y'all niggas only get into this so that way you can get hooked up in jobs and stuff. So that way you don't have to actually have merit to get in the position that you have. Why? Because your sorority brother, your Freemasonic brother, your Easter Star sister, your soror, your this or your that is already in there through somebody else who also isn't qualified, and now y'all all get to basically be there and live y'all second childhood in adult life now. Meanwhile, somebody that is more educated, that can read, that is trying to get damn merit, can't even get in because y'all niggas got it locked up for your own little group, your own little secret society. How does that help the rest of us? How does that help any of us? How are we coming up from that? How are we, right, who are not involved in any of that bullshit? How are we benefiting from this? We're not. And you don't want us to. You just want your little crew to be in there doing what y'all doing. And then when y'all get in there, y'all act a complete fool. Look at this. Hispanics, y'all moving up. They following y'all. Y'all right up under this. 72%? This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. You mean to tell me 72%? So that means all of these broken homes is made by black men. That's what y'all trying to tell me? That it's just black men doing this? When most divorces is initiated by the women? Come on, y'all. Like at some point, we have to take responsibility to the fact that there is some sort of insane pathology that has been sewn into our culture. Come on now. Like this is insane. Look, Asians only at 16%. White people moving up. A couple of years ago, it was only 10%. Now it's 24. Hispanics, y'all moving up. Y'all following behind. They steadily breaking down every ethnic group. But you notice Indians ain't in here. Why? Because Indian Americans is making the most money out of everybody. Why? Because the Indians is the ones that they using to run the data center. The Indians is the ones that's doing all of the tech stuff. And then when the Indians get in, whether it be Kamala Harris or whatever, they bring other Indians in to keep y'all out. This is what everyone is doing. Who at the bottom though? Who's always at the bottom? The people that are actually from here. The people that are actually from here. So does this mean that all of these people are moving up? No, this means that all of these people are receiving governmental preferential treatment above you. Don't think they not. They just don't come over here with when they tell you that, oh, we came over here with nothing. Yeah, with that nothing, where you get that 30 grand to open up your business at though? Where did that come from? They give these niggas incentives to come here and they give them money and they tell them you're going to start off at the bottom. What's the bottom? In the so-called melanated Moorish American, so-called African American communities. You're going to buy up all of them. You're going to live off of them. You're going to make money off of them. Then you're going to get your kids. They're going to get money, right? We're going to make sure that they get money. Y'all going to be able to open up a restaurant, a laundromat, a 7-Eleven, a hotel, Patel hotel chain, right? This is what they do. Me and you, we want to go and get a loan. Oh, well, you can't get no loan. Your credit ain't this. Your credit ain't. When we go to get loans, what happened? They charge us exorbitant amount of interest in which they actually get sued. Bank of America was sued for exorbitant mortgage prices, exorbitant interest rates on loans that they was giving people, and the loan is coming from your own account, coming from your own account. They still overcharging you. They still stealing from you to the point where they have been exposed for doing this multiple times, multiple institutions taking advantage of the original Americans. Also, everybody else, right, can come up over us. And then you wonder why we're insane. You wonder why our people are insane. Also, when these people come to their communities, they assimilate to a point, but they have a national identity that they still function under. And they send all of their money back to their country. They send a majority of their money back to their country because they're loyal to the place that they came from, even though they're over here exploiting all of the benefits that is supposed to go to us, that we fought and died for. But you can't get no sympathy. You know why? Because of shit like this. Because when they see you, you're always debasing yourself. You're always looking like a thug or an animal. You're celebrating the fact that you're poor and destitute. You'll sell crack and drugs to your own people. You'll deify people like Big Meech. You'll deify people like Rich Porter and the rest of these niggas who destroyed generations of your people. And you'll put them on pedestals. They'll do movies about you. You'll have niggas like Tyler Perry that make you look like an animal for entertainment. You understand? For entertainment. And you still won't come together. You still won't. Why? Because I ain't go through this. I ain't go through what you went through. I ain't went through the struggle, or what you think you smarter, or you got this, or you like niggas is crazy. They're crazy. They got us so detached from reality, so detached from one another that we still out here supporting the people whom they pay, whom they have paid, who we know, according to things like the Epstein files and stuff, who they have paid to keep you docile. Case in point, your boy Sean was out there with the roots. Your boy Sean was out there with the roots, right? Now look at how this nigga do the ritual. He do the ritual where, remember I told you this happened on the blue moon, but guess the blue moon that he did this under, right as it was coming in, right? The blue moon was going through a transit through what? Through Sagittarius. What sign is Gay-Z? Sagittarius. And what does the blue moon do? The blue moon is there for you to be able to come about and do a certain supplication or any type of ritual that allows you to use the full energy of this wisdom of the second moon, that allows you to basically remake yourself and open up new ways of being perceived by people. Now you tell me these niggas ain't following the Zodiac Constitution. Ain't that what that nigga did that for? This nigga took the lace front off and came out looking like Trinidad James. He came out looking like Trinidad James, dressed like Eazy-E, acting like Absol. Tell me he did it. This nigga trying to channel 3 different niggas in one. So Nicki was right. So now niggas was like, how this nigga, so that means Nicki was right. He been wearing a lace front, right? So you go from looking like, trying to look like the gay painter, trying to look like the crackhead gay painter Basquiat. Now you're trying to look like Absol, Eazy-E, and Trinidad James all in one. Right? All in one. backed up by Jimmy Fallon's house band. So then niggas is going so in on the lace front, right? And the fact that he never had locks. Now I start to see all of these videos about people combing their locks out. Right? This how ill it is. This how ill the game is. You got all of these videos now coming out with people. See you can comb your locks out. You could comb your locks out and you can get an afro again. All to cover for this nigga. Sick. Y'all niggas is sick. Y'all actually went out there and supported this nigga after he was in the files. He in the Epstein. Epstein said, this is the nigga we call when we need to get the black community off our back to go along with whatever it is that we trying to do. This is what it say in the files about this nigga. And everything that he has ever done has shown you that. He worshiped money. He worshiped money. You understand? He's another money worshiper. So a money worshiper is now out here dressed up like 3 different niggas, right? Who got more talent, right? Who got more talent? Because if they didn't, he wouldn't be dressed up as them. And he's there now trying to rap almost at 60, right? Trying to rap and then trying to diss niggas with a battle rap that 2 months ago he said we shouldn't be doing because we be on battle rap now. So again, it's okay if I do it, but when you niggas do it, it's a problem, especially when it's about me. Like, yo, how long y'all gonna let these niggas get away with all of this stuff, man? How long y'all gonna keep allowing these Negroes to play in your face like this? It's retarded how much these dudes get away with playing it, with playing these games in people's face. It's really retarded at this point. Because if he was not in the position that he was in terms of losing influence, he would not be at no Roots Festival. And then the irony is, Black Thought is the best rapper probably in the entire game, right? Think about this. This is what happens when you chase money over integrity. He the best rapper in the entire game, right? And he got to play second fiddle to Jay-Z, where Jay-Z is now fronting his band. Think about that. After these niggas done become the basically the living house band for Jimmy Fallon. Cokehead, right? Hollywood elite, Jimmy Fallon. You the best rapper in the entire world, but you can't even. You think Jay-Z would ask Black Thought to rap with him on stage? Did he do it? No. What did he do? He brought broke ass Beanie Siegel out there. Broke ass Bleak, I believe, came out there with him. All of his sons, all his little sons who still need him for validation. This picture on the left shows you exactly who this nigga is. I remember when I first saw this in real time. And I saw him when Freeway came to stand next to them, he pushed him to the side, said, no, go stand over there. And this broken man goes and stands on the edge. But it's almost good that he did it, almost like in protest, to kind of show, look, this is what it really is. And then who is the flag really behind? Behind Freeway. Really. These niggas is not even in front of it. And this is what it is. This is what happens when you choose capitalism, right? Excuse me. When you choose nihilistic capitalism over your people and your national identity and your national allegiance. So this nigga come out and tell you that you not supposed to be out here battle rapping, talking crap about other rappers. Meanwhile, this nigga come out and diss Drake, diss Nicki, diss Jaguar, and even Oskino. I said, yo, Oskino made it. He made it. So what this told me was that what Flex said is true. He is the most sent, because Sagittarius are. Sagittarius can be very sensitive and deal with deep insecurities. And the fact that he did this under the Sag blue moon said it all. This means that those allegations and everything that's been coming out is true. These things actively were happening. And he is literally affected. But what I'm also letting you know is the reason why he's really doing this is because he has to show his masters, right? His masters, that he is still viable in the culture. Because if not, if his influence is not what it used to be or not what it should be, you know what that means? That means he is next on the chopping block. Exactly, KL. They say, yo, they're going to take him out. Exactly. Exactly. Remember, this nigga's boss, Desiree, is a known criminal, government informant for cartels, that this nigga curried favor from Trump, but then going to talk about how the threats and everything is coming down from the presidential level to him. How you going to do that when you was I saw you at the brunch, I saw you at the dinner with this nigga, bro. I saw you at dinner. You and Bay was at dinner with him. Because when you got money, all you got to do is pay him, and you can get. And what was this for? He paid this off with Desiree so that way they could set up the monogram weed business that they was trying to do. And when I first heard about that, I'm like, who gonna smoke Jay-Z's weed? Like, who gonna sit there and smoke Jay-Z weed? Like, what are y'all doing? You want to sell weed now? Ain't you tired of selling drugs to the Ain't you tired of selling drugs to the people, Jay? Ain't you tired? That's all these niggas do is sell alcohol, weed, right? What else these niggas sell? Tequila, rum. That's all they let y'all niggas do. Is sell stuff to people that they don't need. Y'all ain't never said, not one of y'all thought, yo, let me set up an insurance company. Let me set up a distribution house. Let me set up because when niggas tried to do that, you snitched on them, Jay. Allegedly, you snitched on all them niggas. Nah, you'll never be Nas, bro. That's what's so sad. You'll never be Nas. And even with him, like, I really respect what he's done. Like, this nigga came out with 80 albums. He done put all of the old rappers on. He got them touring. You know what I mean? But again, do we really need a casino? Do we really need that? Do niggas need a place where they could go and gamble the little money that they have? What about a college? You know what I'm saying? What about a dentist school? What about shit that the people actually need? A trade school, something. No, because they don't let them niggas open up certain things. Yeah, I mean, he had the partnership with Hennessy. Like I said, all these niggas do that. But at least, like I said, at least with Nas, bro, he gave back to the community. You know what I mean? He gave back to the community. One good thing that Sean did though was when Scarface was on his deathbed, he cut that check. He made sure that he had some bread and all of that. But again, one good deed can't wash away all of this other crap that you done to these people, man. And this picture, like I said, on the left is a perfect example of who this man is, who he's always been. See the hands in the pocket like that? When you put your hands in the pocket like that, and you a Freemason, this is a Master Mason sign. is what he's showing you here. You know what I'm saying? So again, I'm just using this as an example to show that this is the level of the game that we're at, where these niggas is now coming out trying to find ways to still show the machine that they are relevant, that they still have a means to be able to keep you docile, so that way you don't get no knowledge of self and actually do something to come up out of the horrid situations our people find ourselves in. Like this is the stuff that's going on. Like they it's sad. And like I said, our people will sit there and be like, oh, he really went in, yo, he doing it. Like what? Y'all are tripping. Y'all still are trying to give this dude relevancy after y'all seen what happened in the files, after this nigga said that Jeff said that this is they go-to boy that is there to make sure to keep y'all docile and complicit into whatever it is they want to do to y'all. That's why this nigga Aubrey, and then he tied over Aubrey because Aubrey is now in the limelight again. Aubrey then came out, dissed him, said, "Oh, you not a fan, you a middleman." He called that nigga the middleman. Oh, I know he is tight. Oh, I know he's tight. He's so tight behind that. And Aubrey had 3 records, #1. You see what I'm saying? At the same time, you talking about what his contract say. How you know what his contract say, Jay? How you know? Because you with them people. That's how you know, because you with them. You there. You the gatekeeper. Word, Jelani, all going. But again, you can't get these niggas power, because when you get them power, they do shit like this. Look, this is just the other day. See, both these chicks is Easter Stars and what you call it, sorors and shit. Look, cop, this a judge. She married. This the chief of police. He deputy chief. He married. They caught this chick having sex in her chambers in the courthouse. And this bitch had the nerve to be screaming where they heard her, where they recorded her in the hall having sex, committing adultery. This is what I'm saying. These niggas are deviants. Then this chick, an Alabama judge, has been suspended after she been accused of making racial remarks about white court clerk and postponing critical hearings for patients committed in hospitals so she could walk her dogs. So this is the most educated. So when we talk about the most black women, they the most educated, and this and that. Again, I'm not talking about the real educated sisters. I'm not talking about the sisters is actually doing what they supposed to do. I'm talking about the ones that they throw in our faces. This bitch is no different than Sexy Red. This is a Sexy Red in a judge's gown. That's what they give you. This is who they give you. These are the people running it. These are the people doing it. This is the people who they let be in charge. You understand? Also, they can say, see, this is why we don't have no DEI shit no more. We can't just be having these chicks having sex in the courtroom. Meanwhile, these niggas raping children, all types of stuff. But again, that don't make it, just because they doing that don't make it okay for her to be having sex while she's supposed to be administering law from the bench. And so this chick could walk her dog? It's disgusting. Meanwhile, A real judge in the ICC, she having her life threatened by the Mossad because she is trying to preside over the war criminal prosecution against the small hat state. They threatening to kill this woman. You see the contrast? You see what I'm saying? Yes, because Kamal is an Indian. Kamal is an Indian. Just like Cash Patel, the one that's running the thing, the one who's not trying to investigate what happened to Charlie Kirk, even though we all know what happened. His homeboy, his mans, he covering that up, right? Because he do what they tell him to do. They also said that he's into gooning. Y'all know what that is, right? Y'all know what gooning is, right? That's when you masturbate to such a degree that you go into a trance. That's what the jacket they don't put on this nigga. Allegedly. And they said he's a raging alcoholic. Again, this is what they do. If they'll put Epstein back in your face under a fake new name and then put him on all of the TV sets and everything, and they all joking around, laughing in your face about who he looked like, like what, like it's a joke. It's not a joke, man. All of these people are compromised, bro. And like I said, they've created a circumstance now where they are now treating white, so-called white people, not all white people, just white people that's not rich. If you're not a rich white person, you might as well be a Negro. Like they don't care. You're not down with them. They will use you. You see what I'm saying? To foster this so-called hate, to try to create this fake race war that ain't never gonna happen. Because it's not enough for them anymore. It's not enough. They need more people. So this is why they started to chart and started to call other racial groups white. So if the race war do pop off, the Asians will help the whites. Like you got to see the play of what they're trying to make happen. But it's still not enough. It's still not enough for them. I personally believe that they've undercut our numbers. It's actually, I believe, way more of us now than it ever was in history right now. We just don't know because we don't control the algorithm, which is crazy because the actual term algorithm was created by a Moor. The Moors created the algorithm, y'all. We created that. Our ancestors created that before there were physical computers. Look it up. And so they use the woman, they use the black feminist female, like I said, as the insurgent in the community to help them create more mutants, right? To help them create more effeminate men, right? More divisiveness and all of that, and to separate them from women that are actually productive and not with it. That's why you got to stop looking at celebrity females as being down because they're all complicit. They all worship money. They all bleach. How is it that they start out looking melanated and then by the time they 5-6 years in, they're totally light skinned? What happened? Then when you call them out for bleaching, they got all of these stories as to why they don't. When it's obvious that they do. Because that's part of the ritual, y'all. Thank you, Noble. The algorithm was named after the Persian, i.e., Moorish mathematician Muhammad ibn Musa al-Khwarizmi, who lived around 825 AD, that's during the age of the Moorish Empire, right? Referred to the algebra, right? Algebra. They are all sellouts. Everybody that was in mainstream, right, for the most part, was down with keeping us crazy and helping us go insane. All of these chicks, Nina Simone, all of this black shit you talking, all of that stuff you was talking, you wound up with this white man, right? Same thing. Alice Walker, right? Same thing. Nikki Giovanni, same thing. Maya Angelou, if they wasn't with white men, they was gay. But then these is the chicks writing all of the stories about how horrible black men was, so-called black men was, and how this was that, and how niggas was raping them and all of this. But you having babies with the racists. You got to read Alice Walker's daughter's book on her. She let it be known that this woman was a straight demon. You think Mommy Dearest was bad? This chick was crazy. Just like Philippa Schuyler, her mother. I mean her situation. All of them beige people that they created. Then here, are you tired of hearing low-class people blame your culture for their problems? You should be attending the rally against rednecks, an evening dedicated to celebrating contributions of our local Asian community and letting a bunch of trailer park trash yokels, right? What the world really thinks of them. All sponsored by this dude. It's crazy. It's crazy. Cause see, all these niggas is Asian. They consider themselves Asians. But all these Asians pass for white, even though they darker than us. So now they rallying against the white man, calling them rednecks, right? But what's sad is you got more in common with these rednecks than you do with this nigga. That's the reality of the game, man. They trying to displace everybody. Yes, Maya Angelou was a prostitute. Yes. At one point she was a prostitute. Yes. And a raging alcoholic. Cause when you sell your soul like that and you constantly selling your soul like that, it takes a toll on you, man. It takes a deep toll on your spirit. Because you ain't supposed to be living like that. Like I said, they all related. They all practice swinging and incest and all having sex with one another, and then take the babies and then get the baby to somebody else, so that way that person could raise the baby, so that way they don't know who the real, so that way they could pass the father off like he was somebody else. This Trudeau and his real pops. The Jesuit. And this nigga who was an actor, this nigga Castro, who's a communist CIA actor, is also part of the what you call it, bloodline. He's a part of the, I want to say the it's either the Palavici or no, he's a Farnese. He's a part of the Farnese line. Allegedly in the Farnese gallery where they put like all of the pictures of they family and stuff like that. Allegedly, he got a painting in there of him because he a part of that. He a part of that bloodline too. Yeah, this is his mom. This is this nigga's mother. This nigga Trudeau, this gay nigga. This is his mother, and she was a heavy swinger back in the days. She used to go to all of the international orgies allegedly that used to take place in these different countries. And she was a frequent in Cuba, and she, like I said, used to go to the orgies and get tossed up or whatever, and then she wound up having Justin. The dude that's looking right there is his cuck father. That's the one that raised him. But Allegedly that. And then boom, one day he becomes the president of Canada. At the same time, Canada is now falling into ruin. They done turned that into a third world country too. Yup, done turn that into a third world country. But that's what they get. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what y'all get. When y'all let communists come into y'all country, you get that. Trudeau is an avid racist. He another avid racist. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I'll show you. Look at him. See, and it's not just enough that he be in blackface. He got to also go in on your nationality too. Let you know that he know. Because they're obsessed with the fact that they're not us. So they got to always do stuff to remind themselves that they are always mocking us, because that's part of the humiliation ritual that we've been under all of these years. Yeah, it's the same thing. She French. Yeah, I think she is French. See him dressed up as a Moor? Yeah, that's what they do. That's how they get off. And he the first one to talk about how we got to respect everybody and diversity and equity and inclusion and all of this crap. Meanwhile, he black facing, dressing up like a turban feathered Moor, right? Putting shoe polish and shit on, right? And he a twink. Yeah. These are the men that they always wanted to rule because they get to rule over them. He's no different than Peter Thiel and Silberman and Altman and all of them. Zuckerberg, who's a Rothschild, all of them. They're all like this. They're all racists. They all are genocidal maniac nihilists. They have hatred for humanity. There's a TV show y'all should check out on Amazon. Me and the Queen watching it, called The Rich Flu. Check this joint out. It's a low-key anti-capitalist propaganda, but remember, capitalism is not the issue. Nihilistic capitalism is the issue. Okay? It's two different things. None of these niggas, capitalism is not the issue. It is way better than socialism. This nigga Mondani is destroying New York. Destroying it. You heard? Like it's beyond, it's not even gonna be the New York y'all remember in another 2-3 years. And now that they trying to merge the military with the Israelis and all of that, they're gonna try to flip this whole, we gotta basically stop anybody from saying anything negative. So anti-Semitism is now a form of going against the active military. So now you're a domestic terrorist bullshit. Like they're gonna try all of that. And it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Because if the ICE stuff ain't working how they want, and everybody's out in ICE agents and all of that, it's not gonna work the way that they want. So what they need to do is just chill and slow down. Because again, once the Democrats get in, everybody going to jail. And they're gonna use that to be able to implement their shit. So while they getting Donnie and them ready for the guillotine and getting ready to go to jail or try to lock these niggas up for war crimes, they gonna be the new ones. Because remember, it's both sides of the Congress It's a uniparty. They're all in it together. They are all bought and paid for. None of them, right? The ones that is against it, they done kick them out. They don't care about the American people. They want more immigrants to come in. They want more transgender surgeries. That's what the Democrats want. So they're worse, right? They're gonna be worse. Because they basically are doing the same thing that this nigga is doing now, but just flipped it. So it was never about Donnie being some sort of hero, the way that they've been trying to make it seem, or it had nothing to do, none of that had nothing to do with any of that. What it had to do with was him being a bulwark against the active disintegration that everybody's seen coming. So they had to create something, right, to play the entrance. That's why I told y'all, as a Dragon Gemini, he gonna play both sides. I've been saying that from the beginning. But people hear what they want to hear. But essentially, that's what his role has always been. To be both sides of the same side, to show you that they're all the same in the end. So, anybody have any questions? Yeah, it's called The Rich Flu on Amazon. Check it out. Yeah, anybody have any questions? Yeah, hold up. Give me 1 second. Let me pull it up here. Yeah, but we've been where we are. And now that the whole 14th Amendment thing and the prophet has been proven right again, there's nothing that they can do to really go against what it is that we've been building on and telling everybody for all of these years. Is just because people are still caught up in, like I said, the drama and who is who and all of this, like I said, with the Jay-Z thing and all of that. It's just more distractions. You know what I'm saying? It's always distractions, but the truth can never really be thrown away. We are the Moorish Empire. The Moorish Empire is here, regardless to how many Aspergers, fake white boys, fake black Freemasons, fake historians want to come out and try to say what the Moors is and what the Moors ain't or whatever. All you can do is talk about what happened before. All you can do is go in on what it is that allowed us to fall. All we can do now is get up, because when you on the floor, when you sleeping on the ground, you can't fall out the bed. So when I see all of these fake niggas come out with all of these different stories and stuff by watching our old videos and videos by myself and other people over the years, and then trying to cast more doubt on Moors today, but then want to talk about how the natives was here and we was this and that, but then we've already showed and proved through things like the Peabody Museum that they switched the term from Moor to Indian in 629. You just showing and proving yourself to be the same hybrid agent that we've always known y'all to be. And the fact that you can only speak about our culture but can't speak about your own shows the fact that you have no culture without us. You have no history without us. So again, you're proving our point again. We always been here. Big up to my brother Marco L. Borican. He had posted this picture on the left. and I wanted to juxtapose it with the joint on the right. When we went to go claim this building with the city went and actually called in the state attorney, the state attorney, with me and the noble brought in the state attorney to basically to deal with us in a negotiation on how to get it turned over and all of that, and it turned into a whole big thing, man. That's how I knew, like, oh, we really here, we right here. You know, I don't want to speak too much more on that because we still building on dealing with all of this. But just know, when we came through and it was just me and another more, and we went through and came through with the paperwork and all of that, the whole joint shut down to the point they had to call a nigga from the capital. But this nigga, it took him an hour, but I don't know how long it took. It took him a minute to come down from the capital to deal with me in the more, man. It was just me and him. So imagine if we was all on point. Imagine what we could do if we just decided that, nah, we're not going to deal with any of this stuff the way that they want to do it. Because if they're not following the laws how they supposed to, why should we? If y'all going under this old feudal system and all of that, that means that, again, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. That means we could do the same thing. Yeah, the Leviathan thing, that's still popping. They still doing all of these things off the coast, right down where it's at, but they keeping that quiet right down by Venezuela. You notice they ain't been talking about that because your boy Maduro been singing on everybody. Plus, they've been laying what they call depth charges in that area. But again, they not talking about it because again, they got so much shit popping at one time. You understand? It's hard for them to keep every element of the plan going. So that's why a lot of them, like I said, is starting to jump ship and move to different places. That is now going to be the new satellite small hat state, being that the small hat state is basically all rubble at this point. Because you can't fight a war on three fronts. That's why they trying to merge themselves with the U.S. military. So now the U.S. military got to be the actual military for these people, which again is treason. That's treason. That's treason. Just because the Congress or the House wants to do that, doesn't mean that that is actually lawful. That goes against the Trading with the Enemy Act. That's subversion. That goes against the War Powers Act. Everything they doing is treason. But if nobody stand up and call them out for the treason, what are we going to do? But again, they think it's easy, but it ain't going to be that far. Exactly. You got to take it to, you got exactly more. We got to take it higher. We got to take it to a higher authority because they are the lowest authority on the planet. That's why the entire planet is turning against them. So now they got to literally try to make it where the fact of our soldiers, our people, are going to now be their soldiers, so that way they could tell us what to do. So that way they could go and have access to all of our data directly after they have threatened to nuclear bomb everybody. And y'all talk about y'all don't negotiate with terrorists. Like, you're insane. Y'all niggas is insane, but y'all let them do that because they are paying you money. That's all it's ever been about. Money. Money. They will destroy the government. They will destroy and sell off everything piece by piece because they have no national identity outside of their money. That's what they see themselves as. So everything they do is not only wicked, right? It has no basis in reality because they live in their own fictitious world that has no bearing on what is right or wrong because they think they're above it. And then these same people want to create laws to tell you what is right and what is wrong. It's insane. It cannot sustain. It's unsustainable. This type of blatant treason is unsustainable, Moors. I'm telling you. It's all going to collapse before they can actually get it popping. I'm telling you. Because, again, there's more bullets in this country than there are people. You hear what I'm telling you? There's more guns in this country more than actual people. They may run around this place, but not everybody is down with it. And there's people that is working with them. That's with them. That's actually with us. Meaning the actual so-called American populace that is not with any of this shit. They not with it. They look like they're going along with it, but they're creating their own contingency plans out of that. And I'm not talking about QAnon or any of that shit, because in the end, what does that even matter? The military, y'all literally gonna allow your sons and daughters to be signed over to genocidal maniacs, so that way they can be murdered and maimed and killed, all in the name of people who don't even believe, who don't even respect you, who see you as a slave. During that fake hit that just happened with Donnie the other day, his son was marrying further into the family. So he couldn't even go to his son's graduation. Graduation. He couldn't even go to his son's wedding because he had to be in the crib as the fake assassination attempt went on. Like, it's sad that he let himself fall this far, this fast. All because you're not man enough to just deal with the fact that they may have shit on you. Like, we already know. They couldn't drop it before because it was heavily suppressed. But now, right? Now they got it. So you either bite the bullet, deal with it, or keep it moving. Right? The best thing he could do right now is just kick all of them out. But he ain't going to do it. Because then one thing these niggas hate doing is admitting that they're wrong. You understand? Because in their culture, their God tells them that everything they do in the name of destruction, murder, and theft and being evil is good. Because you're dealing with soulless animals. You understand? Soulless animals. That's what these things are. So you can't expect a soulless animal to have a conscience or whatever all the time. A soulless animal and a deviant will do anything. Eat children, rape men, rape women, right? Put on the clothes of the women and stuff that they rape. Like, this is a part of it. They actually went to riot in that country for the right to rape prisoners. This is how sick these people are, bro. It's sick. But again, if that's what they want to do in their country, then they have the right to do that in their country. They don't have the right to try to make my country into that. That's the problem. Then they trying to come out with an AI bill that says if you don't accept data centers and you don't like AI centers, that now you're a terrorist. It's like, y'all crazy. Y'all crazy. I have the right not to have that shit around me. But then when the Democrats was out here talking about parents couldn't speak out against trans stuff and all that, you said that was oppressive. It's like, y'all the same. They're the same people. Always have been. So again, just for clarity, they already put it out that in the 5-28 decision that it's over. That whole birthright citizenship, coming over here, having babies, dropping the babies, and then using the babies as insurgents so that way they can come over and take over, that's over. But the problem is this applies to everybody. That's not us. You see what I'm saying? So this very same thing that our prophet told us back in 1928 is the truth. Just because you're born here don't make you a citizen. What makes you a citizen is the free national name, the identity as being American as opposed to being a citizen of the United States. If anything, we are the true American citizens. See what I'm saying? So yeah. So anybody else have any questions? Indeed. So yeah, man, I appreciate everybody coming through. I appreciate the support. If you haven't already, please check out www.aseerthedugateers.com. All my links is there. Anybody wants to donate, if people like, I be trying to do more than one video a week. But I also got to do things to support the family. So any donations actually help me move forward with that and actually, do more material. So if you can, and if you would like to donate, you can do so here. I always have it in the description. I always have it in the description on the videos when I post them. But anybody wants to do so, you can definitely do so. I greatly appreciate it. It helps me keep things going in that regard. You know, also check out www.aseerthedugateers.com. If you want to hit me up at houseofel@hotmail.com, you definitely can for any type of booking or consultations or lectures or anything like that you want to do or set up. We could do that. Private consultations, we could do that. So I greatly appreciate that if you look out in that regard. You can also check out www.cordobaorganics.com. If you haven't already, definitely support the queen. She's been doing it for a while. Been looking out for people, been helping with the skincare. The only 100% natural uh, Moorish American, as far as I know, skincare line on the market. Definitely check that out. The book of the Moorish brother about the architecture in Florida. I'm not sure. I'm not sure which one you're talking about. You're not talking about Horace Butler, right? He had a book called When the Rocks Cry Out. If you haven't checked that out already, you should definitely check it out. But also, if you haven't already and want to always be in touch with what's going on, check out the ADOT app. That way I can, I'm directly able to build with everybody directly on that and post a lot of the videos and stuff that I can't post here, as well as a lot of the old joints. If you haven't also, please subscribe and hit the like button and the hype button to my YouTube channel, AseerTheDugateers.com. AseerTheDugateers on YouTube. You can definitely become a member on there. I'm gonna be posting more stuff in the membership section. But yeah, if you can definitely subscribe. I'm trying to finally reach 60,000 after 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. After almost 20 years, 17 years on YouTube. I'm about to reach 60,000. Hopefully, inshallah. Knock on wood. You know what I mean? Barring any unforeseen circumstance. So yeah, I definitely appreciate you guys doing that. And again, thank you guys for coming through, all of our first timers. I found out that when you if you hype it once, you can only do it like 3 times per person or something like that, something crazy like that. But it's activated. On the last video, some people said that they seen it and was able to do it. So again, you know how they do me. So you just gotta keep checking. But I appreciate the support regardless, whether you hype it or not. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, hopefully I'm gonna be able to reach that landmark soon after almost 17, 18 years on it. You know what I'm saying? But again, slow and steady win the race. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. You know what I mean? So I can only, give thanks to the fact that people still check in for me. So again, also you can check out my books on www.aseer.com. You can order them directly from me. I don't sell them on Amazon or any third party like that. So again, I definitely greatly appreciate all the support, man. And again, I really appreciate you guys always holding us down, always supporting. And again, you could always hit me up at houseofel@hotmail.com. I'm gonna be setting up something else, well, I'll talk about that next week, inshallah. But again, I thank you guys for all the support. And if you need anything else, again, just hit me up at houseofel@hotmail.com. And yeah, we could definitely take it from there. All right? All right, nobles. Braconium Malut Laudibus, Pax et Amor. Peace.